Hey y'all, it's Christy with Swanky Blanks. I am going to show you today how to add the insert to our stainless steel watches. Some of you are going to do them with vinyl or just photo paper. Whatever you choose, you can add that insert. To do this, you will need obviously the watch, tweezers, a push pin, sharp scissors. I chose a cheese knife. You'll need just a thin, sharp knife to pry off the back cover of the watch, and then obviously your insert, whether it's vinyl or paper, whatever you choose to embellish your watch with. So grab your supplies and let's get started. To take the band apart on the watches, you will use your push pin, undo the clasp, and on this side you will see a tiny little circle. Once you press your push pin into the circle, you'll feel it give a little bit. It's almost like it's spring loaded. So you just press that down, it will kind of pop in and pop out. There it goes. So once that's out, then your band is separated so you can easily get to the back. Now we're ready to remove the back and get started taking the watch apart. You will use a thin sharp knife to pry the back off. It'll usually come off with a try or two. Then you will remove the plastic ring thing here. Grab your push pin, and it's kind of hard to see, but there is a little metal kind of oval-ish shaped thing that's actually holding the watch pin in. And I'm left-handed, so I had to turn that around. If you press down on that spot, it will let the watch pin release. Put that to the side, and then all of the watch insides will come out. Ta-da! With this part, you want to be very careful not to bend the hands, because if you bend them, once everything goes back together, they'll kind of get snagged on each other and won't keep time correctly. So you want to be very delicate when you're holding this part. So you will take the actual watch mechanism, kind of give it a little tug. That'll make the hands fall off of the front. Make sure you put those somewhere for safekeeping, because you will obviously need those in a few minutes. So once you have all your pieces apart, we are ready to embellish. I have cut out my circle. I cut mine at I have cut my monogram at 1 5/16 of an inch. I have the Martha Stewart cutter, and I found that 1 5/16 is the closest to the watch face that you can get. So you just want to cut that out and then line it up with your plate to get your center, and then it takes a pretty generous hole. I started with my push pin, but it needs to be a decent sized hole so that the stem that your hands snap onto will have enough room to freely move. You don't want the hands to get snagged on the little paper fuzz stuff that comes out. So anyway, you just want to trim away any excess paper, line it back up, and you will put your watch motor back. There is that center post there that my finger is touching, and then there's also a tiny little post that you will line up. There should be two. I actually accidentally broke one off, so yours will have two posts on the back plus the post for the hands. So once you get that snapped in, then you are ready to start your reassembly of the hands. So just make sure everything's centered up, squared up, and you also want to make sure that the side where your pin, right here, that your watch pin is going to go in, that will be on the right side of your face, and you want to make sure that your monogram is lined up accordingly. So you can see that actually took mine off so that you could see the process of putting the hands on a little more easily. This part is not the easiest, partly because I am blind as a bat, and I usually use a magnifying glass, but I didn't have enough hands for all this video jazz, so between being blind, having no fingernails to help me here, it is a little bit of a struggle for me, but my mom can do it in about 2 minutes or less, so don't give up. They are frustrating at times. Sometimes they will snap right on, and sometimes they do me fits, so you still want to be very careful when you are adding your hands back on not to bend them. Um, if you press down on the left, the right side will bow up, and then when your watch spins, it will get hung on another hand, which obviously is not good. So the order that you put them back on is the hour hand goes first, then the minute hand, then the second hand. So before you take it apart, just give it a look over, kind of see how everything looks before you take it apart. If you want to take a photo of the hands, just so you can kind of have a reference of what goes in what order, and there is a right side up on all 3 pieces. So just take a look before you pop them off and kind of know what you're working with when you get ready to put it back together. So anyway, it looks like these are about ready to cooperate. Right now I've got the hour hand and the minute hand. The second hand actually has a little, not a screw, but like a little, hang on, I'm going to try to show you. I don't know if you can see. Hello, camera's down. You see the little, just a little, I don't know what you call it, on the end of the hand. It actually goes down into the minute hand. So that part will go face down, and it snaps into the minute hand. And once you get that one in, you are almost ready to go. If you end up bending any very, very gently, bend them back as horizontal as you can. You definitely, they're very, very thin, so if you bend it too many times, they will break. Ask me how I know that. The first few that we did, having no instruction really to speak of, was definitely a learning process for us. So anyway, you will want to get that second hand lined up, snap down, make sure that they are not bent, and I'd probably turn it upside down, make sure nothing falls off, make sure everything will turn freely. And once everything is in place, you are ready to start reassembling the face to the band, and we're almost finished. So hang in there. If it's not working just right, keep going. But you see my hands are moving pretty freely, so I think we're gonna go ahead with this one. And yep, our second hand is ticking, so we are going to add this back to the band now. So here we go. We are ready to reassemble the watch. So we're going to take the circle plastic piece and place it back on the back of the watch. It has a slot cut out for the pin. So once you get that in place, you'll be ready to put the band on. But first, obviously, we need to take the pin out. So we will use that same push pin, press down on the little oval-ish shape thing that's holding the pin in. Pin will slide right out. At this point, be very gentle with your hands because they could move now that that pin is not holding them in place. So you're going to want to make sure that everything is lined up and straight so that your monogram isn't crooked. Lay your band on top of the insides. Place your pin back into the side and into the watch motor. Push that in, and we're ticking. Almost done. So now that we know everything is working, we will just turn the watch over. The back cap, you'll pop it down. That does take some strength. Sometimes it will pop easily. Sometimes I have to like maybe put on the edge of a table or the kitchen counter to kind of pop down it onto it with even pressure. And the last step is just to add the pin back to reconnect the band. So you will just stick that pin in there and put one side in. Use your tweezers to press the little spring. It's not really a spring, but it does give a little bit. Press that down and push in, and it will snap back in place. So after that, you are done. And there is your Swanky Blanks boyfriend watch. Personalized, except mine's not.